Well, a lot of you guys know from watching my previous videos that sometimes I get creative and I just decide I'm going to do something. That's how my camper trailer came into existence. I just kind of ran all the things through my head and I ended up with something that works, is very functional. This next project, and I'll show you through some of the pictures, this started as a real ugly collapsed topper from a 1970 something era, and I got it for free, so I thought there's enough framework there. I was going to just haul it off for them, but when I set it on the truck, it actually matched the frame rails perfect. The bed rails perfect. It has a nice aluminum plate on the bottom, and it's sat right on top. And I've been talking and thinking about building a topper of my own because I don't want to spend $3,500–4,000 for something that even then I might have to modify to make it work. So I took the free topper and I took it home and I stripped everything off of it. It had been used as a doghouse for 15 years. It had been used for a greenhouse. The back end where the door was had been collapsed, used as a trampoline. And I just said, you know, I'm going to lay it here in the garage. And I tore it all apart in about 2 hours. And I noticed there were some parts that could be saved. And I started getting some ideas. It only weighed about 35 pounds. I could pick it up and set it on the truck and measure and stuff because it's real lightweight aluminum. And then I thought, I can make something with this. And I just kind of went to a drawing board and this is what I came up with. First, let me show you the inside so you can kind of get an idea here of the inside framework of what this used to be. And I'll tell you a little more about, I'd say it's 95% done. I got a couple more things I'm going to do, but I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly on it. So obviously the ugly is the back door. There was nothing I could do about that, but the window wasn't broken, so I decided I would use it. If you look here, you'll see all across the seam, it's watertight, dust tight, and instead of having gas struts, it has the old spring charge struts from the 1970s. These are the original ones. Now if you look inside, you know, got some lights I'll click on for you. So this is you can see the aluminum framework and the big plate that covers the whole bed panel. And so that window was good, the back door was good. Well, it was caved in, but the window was good. And this front window worked great. You couldn't even see the front window when I got it. From being used as a dog kennel, that whole thing was just brown. Inches of mud on it from being a doghouse. So I knew it wasn't going to be able to hold much weight on the sides, and I cut chunks of it to reinforce in between each beam here. There's a lot going on now in that reinforcement that wasn't there. 800-pound rated ladder bars, so they fit over the top of the rail and over the top of the factory rail. And then between that, these came with these type clips, which weren't going to be big enough. But I'd seen enough videos of people who'd had problems with the side of the Gladiator. I don't know if you've seen those, but it's pretty scary where the side caves in, where all the weight is concentrated just on 1 or 2 spots. So my intent with the mount here, this is one metal plate, one aluminum plate, I'm sorry, and then the metal plates are long, so they cover large portions of the rail, and then they're clamped down on the back side of the rail. Now these are supposed to be rated at 800 pounds. I have no intention of putting that much weight on there, but they're rated for that. These are old school, I know, but I got places for axes, shovels, that sort of thing, just using those tools. That is the reinforcement plate, and you can see how it goes to the frame. It has carriage bolts, and then it also bolts to the side, and that holds a rotopack, so we'll show you that in a minute. And this is the mount for a high lift jack. The base plate goes here, the arm goes up there, and it mounts diagonal across here. It was intentional that I went with white translucent roof, because if I don't have to use electricity, and if there's natural light, I'd rather use natural light to find my way around inside of here. So rather than make this a cave, I left one window in it, which is functioning and screened, so I can open that window and get air in here. And then I went with this light white top for the entire roof. And white reflects light, but it also creates a glow in here. And even in the evening, like it's 9 o'clock at night right now, and I'm still getting light into the truck. So that was that thought. And I do have a key card that actually locks. These lights are all wired into the 40 amp auxiliary. When I turn it on the auxiliary panel, then when I come out here, I can throw these switches, and these are fog lights on both sides and on the back. So this side is also, there's a Rotopax mount on the inside. I didn't show you that, but this is for water. You can put a water pack on here on this side. A couple more of the quick grips to put things. The awning, you're gonna love my awning, is these 3 hooks here and a tarp, and I can move it to either side. I also have these ones on the back, and I also have the same setup with the 3 on this side where I can do that. This is 3/8 skid plate or HDPE board, and on the top I painted the bars for the ladder rack orange to match the Jeep. These are rated again at 800 pounds, but I'm obviously not going to put 800 pounds. Put a rough top 10 up there. I'll go with something like the Montana Go Fast ones that weigh like 80 pounds. And those are made in Look Up Go Fast Camper ultralights. Something like that, something real lightweight if I put a roof top on this. And I got my, I lost it. I'll find it for you. I have a Rotopax. So I put the board on. This is actually for building cargo cases. I went to a site where you build like stage cases and stuff. I just bought 2 lengths of this super heavy duty, and then I split it down the middle so that I could bend it and get the correct angle, because they come only in 90 degrees, but I needed more than that, so I split it. And I still had, the old topper was here, and I ended up with a little hole here. So I used a piece of high density foam and just covered it with black silicone like tar, and that's how the edges are covered up. Altogether, weight wise, we added up what things said they weighed and what they came in on the shipping weight, and we're about 150 pounds probably. It's real easy to lift off of here with 2 guys. That's a couple of things I might do. I might put some a handle or 2 on it and through the frame, so you can use it both when you're stepping up. It'll give you a grip in case you're putting things up on the top, and also to have that handle when you when removing it. So right now it's held on by 10 clamps, and then I ran all of these are wired together. All the wiring's tucked in. I have a little more to do on that yet. So what's left to do on it is I have rubberized fascia trim. It's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. That's gonna make all these lines straight all along here. Now, you might wonder why I have a couple of seams in here and why I have this white panel. There's a really good reason, actually. The lengths that I could get shipped for free were small, and so in order to do that, I ordered exactly what I needed, and I ended up, well, I'll show you my scrap pile. That's it. About 4 pieces, about 2 inches wide. So I didn't have any waste in what I ordered, but I did have to, when I figured out in my head, I knew I was going to have a seam on each side, because there was no way with the panels to get around. Window, I have a metal honeycomb that's going to go against the plexiglass, so it'll kind of give it a more modern look than the old 70s. And I have that trim, and that's about it. It's gonna be done. I've taken it on several road trips on washboard roads. I went over 200 miles on washboard gravel roads with it. Nothing rattles. I'm a real rattle freak, so these are all glued on with Gorilla Glue, some of it's Gorilla Glue, the clear Gorilla Glue on some of it, and the rest of it was glued also with seam seal, and that goes between every panel and every touching place, and then every of the carriage bolts is kind of dipped on the nut. I just put some on it so it doesn't back off. So it absolutely doesn't make any noise. You can't even tell it's back there. It fits so tight. It just it works perfect that way. So, and there you go. That's the homemade trailer. I try to back up here, give you an idea what it looks like. You see I match the line pretty close to the roof, so that if I do put a rooftop tin up here, I'm not going to be mounting way above. I'll be able to mount and maybe even put a third bar up across the roof to hold the front of the tent and have 3 mounting points on the tent instead of 2. So yeah, panel can carry a lot of weight, and the way this is, this panel slides into here, and the other panel across the roof slides into here. They're both glued in. It's watertight. You can spray it with a hose, and water doesn't get in anywhere right now, which was another important thing, because the reason I wanted this instead of one of the typical racks is I've seen all the videos of the guys with the outfitting racks, and everything in their truck is covered with dirt and water after 1 day running. And to me, that's just annoying to have to sleep and use equipment that's covered in 1.5 inches of dirt. Up here in Montana, our mountains are still in, I guess, that spring stage. As soon as the roads are open, some of the roads are still closed, this thing will be covered with mud. And anything that was in the back would be covered with mud, because the whole road, is made of clay and it just throws up everywhere. So there you go. That's my homemade topper.